All right, so what we're going to be doing today is I want to make sure that we understand how to graph equations. I'm actually going to pick a problem from the 1.3 section of last night's homework just to make sure we understand how to do it. So I'll do number 16, and I'll explain exactly what's going on here. So we end up with a linear equation. In this case, the linear equation is y equals negative 3/5 x plus 7. Okay, and then we have a coordinate grid, a Cartesian plane, and we're asked to graph this equation. And so when we're looking at this equation, it's important that we're able to look at the components of the equation and understand what it is. And so whenever we see this, we have to be able to recognize that this is an equation that is in slope, intercept form. And what we should know is that slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus, let's go orange, plus b, okay? And so, why is this important? Because we need to know what everything in the equation stands for. You know, we are very, very much aware that m is our slope. We're very much aware that b is our y-intercept, and thus we know, slope-intercept form. That's why we call that. It has both the slope and the intercept. So when I'm looking at my original equation here, y equals negative 3/5 x plus 7, I have to identify what my slope is. And I see here that slope is always the number that's being multiplied by x. We call that the coefficient. So the coefficient of x, in this case, is negative 3/5. So that I know that my slope is going to be a negative 3/5. And then my b, my y-intercept, is always the number that's being added on to my x term. In this case, I see that it's a positive 7. So I can see that my b is 7. Okay? All right, great. So now I know my slope, now I know my intercept. How do I convert this information, into a graphical representation? So what I need to do first, let me put some hash marks on here because we're about to get to work. What I need to do first is I need to find a point on the line. And the way that I find my first point, step one, find a point. And the way that I'm going to find the point is I'm going to use the y-intercept. Okay, I'm going to use the y-intercept. So I have my x-axis, I have my y-axis, and I know because 7 is my y-intercept that it's going to cross, my line is going to cross the y-axis at 7. So all I have to do is count up 7. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7. I know that is one point on the line now. Okay? This point right here, this orange point, is the point 0, 7. And it's my b. It's my y-intercept. That's what this orange point represents. All right, cool. I've done that. Now I need to find a second point because it takes 2 points to make a line. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my slope. So step 2, find a second point by using the slope. I'm running a little bit out of room on this corner, but we should be okay. So I see that my slope is a negative 3/4. Negative 3/4 is my m. And so what I know is that that's rise over run. Oh, fifths. My fault. Thank you. Okay, I know that it's rise over run. So I'm going to say it's going to be negative 3/5. All right? So I'm going to rise negative 3. Well, rise negative, what does that mean? Well, that means we're going to go down. So I'm going to go down 3 from this orange point. I'm going to start at my intercept. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 points right there. So that puts me right here. And I'm going to run 5. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that it lines up here. This is going to be my second point there. And I got there by moving down 3 and over 5. I rose -3, I ran 5. So now that I have that, all I have to do is connect the dots, put arrowheads at the end to show that it goes on for infinity, and that is my line. Yeah, question?
How do you do it when it's just 2x plus 1 or it's just 4x?
Okay, cool. So what she was asking, in case you couldn't hear it, is what do we do when the coefficient isn't a fraction? So I'll go ahead and do one more that isn't a fraction. Is there a number that's sticking out to you?
Negative 2x plus 1.
So number 7, the problem number 17 there?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll do number 17. So this one says y equals -2x plus 1. Okay, and so we're going to do the same sort of steps. So let me draw this out real quickly. Okay. I can see that my m is going to be -2, because that's this number here. I see that my b is going to be 1, because that's this number here. And so this time, yeah, so I'll start the problem the exact same way. I have to figure out where my y-intercept is first. That'll give me my first point. And I see that my y-intercept is at 1. So that means it's going to be right here. This is the point 0, 1. This is my b. And this time my slope is -2. And I said before that it's rise over run, and you might be looking at this and saying, well, this isn't a fraction, right? It's just a -2. Is that the rise, the run? Well, anytime we have a whole number like this, we can always represent it as a fraction by saying that it's over 1, right? Any fraction, or any whole number can be represented as a fraction over 1, because we can always divide by 1. You know, if I were to cut a cake into one piece, I would just have a cake. So -2 over 1, and from that, I just do the same steps. I go down 2, 1, 2. I go over 1, and there it is. This was my -2. This was my 1. I have 2 points like this. Connect them, put arrowheads on them to show that they go on forever. And that's my line.
And it's a lot of questions, but when there's no y-axis, it's just 4x.
If there's no b, awesome. No, these are great questions. So I'll do that right here. So now what if there's no b on that, right? What if it were, say, y equals, I don't know, I'll say -1/2 x, and that's it, okay? Let's imagine that's what we have going on. Well, we're going to do the same thing, okay? I have to identify my slope. My slope is the -1/2. And now it's the tricky part. I have to identify my b. My b is, well, it's not there, so it's going to be 0. 0 is going to be my b. So what we're going to do is that we have to find where it crosses the axis at 0. It crosses right here. That's the point 0, 0. Then I just go down 1 over 2 to get my second point, just like that. Connect them with a line. Any other clarifying questions on these? Yeah.
Did you call them 21 y equals 4x?
Say it again.
21 y equals 4x.
21 y equals. You would do it the exact same way. If it were 4x, instead of doing a -1/2, you would do a slope of 4. So you would go up 4 over 1. Okay? Exactly the same thing. All right. Easy enough. That, as they say, is that.